Hi guys, this week I am going to do something different. I think I said in my intro about doing different styles of videos and like mindset videos. So this week is going to be a mindset one. I am recording it, you can see a microphone here, I'm recording it for the podcast too, which is, I'm going to change, well I have changed the name from Scenes of Beauty to How to Be. So this is like a series on how to be you, essentially. So like how to be more confident. When we get guests on, it'll be like how to be the name of the guest. So yeah, changing it up a little bit to be just to celebrate you. And I think the point of these videos, or the point of why I wanted to start them, was because I and so many of my friends were struggling to just be themselves because of social media, or because of pressures that they were facing, or because of insecurities. And I was like, God, man, there's so much more to life than this. So I went through a whole journey of like being lost, being insecure, not knowing what the fuck was going on, like just being so outside of who I am as a person that I was like, this grounding, something needs to happen. So I moved to London within about a month, and I was like, let's sort this shit out. So I made a conscious effort to just grow and develop a little bit. But before we get into it, if you don't already, please like, comment and subscribe. I still feel like a twat saying it, but please subscribe to the channel because I have big dreams and ambitions and I want to do more of this. And the more people that subscribe, the more content I can do, the more conversations I can have, the bigger the guests, and yeah, it would massively, massively be appreciated. So please subscribe, please comment on if you want any different topics, and please listen, because yeah, I would appreciate it. So when I was thinking about starting these, I was like, where do I start? And I'm on this whole journey of being more confident at the minute, because I'm really confident. Like now I feel really confident, at work I feel really confident, with men a whole different story. I am the shyest girl in the room when it comes to guys. So I've been doing this like confidence thing. So I was going to start with that, and then I thought, actually, where did I start in this journey? So I like I said before, I moved to London in 2017. So a few years ago, and I was like wildly insecure, and the first thing I did was shed, and I did this without even realising it, but I made a decision to, I wanted to go to London, and I wanted to do better and be better. And the thing that I can be quite delirious in my like thinking, which I quite like about myself, because it means that I can fantasize this whole life in my head. And for me, London is somewhere I thrive because everybody's on a mission. There's the biggest creatives in the world there. There is people build careers, and people build them like wherever, right? But in London, for me, it's just a melting pot of like creativity, and it really inspires me. So yeah, so I went and I wanted to do better, and I wanted to be better, and I wanted to be bigger, and really sort my career but also myself out. And I'm really open-minded, so I just found it fascinating. But the thing that I did want to do was like shed and like level up my surroundings a little bit. And I do think like it's the most, I did it so subconsciously, I didn't even realise it at the time. Like it wasn't like, I don't like this type of person, I don't like you, I don't like them. It wasn't like that. It was just like, oh, this feels icky to me, I'm stepping away, like I'm getting out of that situation. And honestly, like savage news just in, it is the best thing you will ever do. Like if there's an ick or a niggle, or like you've been friends with someone for 10 years and they're just not it anymore, you don't have to, like, I was honestly savage. Like if someone said a wrong word to me, I was like, fuck that, they're out of my life. But I do think if there are people in your life, or the work environment is like taking away, like anything that's taken away rather than adding, be savage, get rid of them. And I do think, like, I say that with a caveat of like, if someone has been in your life for 10 or 15 years and you feel like you're outgrowing them or you're growing in different directions, like have a conversation. Don't just be like, hi Han, see you later, this is not working for me anymore. Like if it's someone who is like a lifelong friend, then speak to them about it. I know like some of my old friends like from school just didn't understand because I was like bye, which I shouldn't have done that, and we've had conversations since and we figured it out, and they understand why I did what I did. But if I wouldn't change anything, but if I had to give like some advice on shedding long-term friends, it would be to have a conversation and then figure it out. But yeah, shedding is rule numero uno. Is that Spanish? Rule numero uno. No, I can't not do it. Shedding is like such a big prio when you want to step into a new version of yourself or you want to grow, because anything that pulls you down is just not cool for the mind, you know. So what is shedding? Like I just said it there, but shedding for me was something that was savage. Like I was ruthless with it. But I think like it's anything, like you can shed a mindset, you can shed a person, you can shed a relationship, you can shed an action, you can shed a like anything, like you can shed a food. Like it is just all about like stepping back, taking a look at where you are versus where you want to be and actually what's not aligning with you. So shedding is I visualize everything. So I visualize shedding as like taking off a layer of a jacket or a skin, like anything that will make you feel lighter. Like take out the missing ingredients. You wouldn't put a fuck ton of salt in your, but I can't think of anything now, but you wouldn't put like a fuck ton of salt in your banana bread because then it would just be salty. Like anything that makes your life salty, like take it out, get rid of it, but in a kind way. Like this is one thing I've learned over the years: be kind, not nice. To do things with grace and do things with decorum, and don't be unkind. Do it in a pleasant manner. But yeah, if it's not working for you, get it out of the room. We've done what is shedding, so I've probably covered it. I do repeat myself a lot, but I've probably covered it. But why shed? Like you might think it's such a random topic to start this like mindset, self-growth, self-development journey. Once you get into it, and actually I'm someone who sees things so like directly and straightforward. If you know me, or you'll probably get to know me as I go on these videos, like I am so blunt and so black and white. I listened to a podcast the other day, actually. Was it Stephen Bartlett? And the guest on it was basically like, there's black and there's white, and for me there's no grey. And I was like, bloody hell, like that is me to a T. Like I'm very black or white. I'm very I used to be bloody savagely, ruthlessly black or white. Like if I don't like you, I'd be like, fuck off. But now I'm kind with it, like I said before. But I see things like so black or white. And if you think about it, if you want to go from A to B and C comes in and C is like doing this, like I'm doing like a hand gesture for anyone who's listening on through podcasts. But if someone's like drawing a wiggly line over your like line from A to B, they're creating noise. I believe in the universe, by the way, but I do think there's an element of testing that is rational and that's relevant. But if C comes in and is a wiggly line in a negative way, and they're not testing you in a way that's challenging you for growth, honestly, kind of politely decline. Like this is why it's so important to shed. And also my way is not for everyone, right? Like I'm not the most social butterfly, I'm not the most outgoing of people. I like what I like, I know who I am confident in who I am, I have bloody good friends. And some people like to be more outgoing, they like to be more social, they like to be here, there and everywhere and on the scene. So if that's you, like this advice is probably not for you, because I'm very different to that. I keep my circle close, I'm really private, I hate anything social. I say that with a pinch of salt, like, and I understand that people don't see things as black and white as what I do, because life is like colourful and it's a rainbow and whatever. But if you are someone who wants to get from A to B, or you've got hiccups, or you feel like you're going in circular motions and you're like, why do I keep ending up back here? There's probably something or someone who isn't aligning with the B place that you want to get to, whether that's a mindset, it might be like discipline, for example, which is actually the opposite of shedding, but you might be like really bad at discipline, or you might be self-sabotaging in some way that you're not actually realising that you're self-sabotaging. So again, you need to massage it out, again visualising, but you need to massage it out to get rid of the obstruction, the thing that's swaying your mind away from getting to B. Does that make, if that makes any sense? Like, if not, please drop me a message and I will explain it clearer. But yeah, that is why it's so important. I honestly live by shedding in a kind way. Also, I know like manifesting is a massive topic at the minute. I've had Roxy Nafusi on the podcast. I do believe in manifesting, but I believe in the reality of manifesting. I don't believe in like you put a fake $10,000 check by your bedside table and then in 2 months you get this 10 grand in your bank. Like for people who believe in luck, I believe in luck more than I do believe in like airy-fairy manifesting, but I do believe in dreaming big and then aligning your behaviour with your actions and trying to get rid of some of your fear and some of your insecurity. I actually really like how Roxy explains it, and if you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to it. It's not my finest episode, if I'm being honest, because it was my first episode that I ever recorded. Like, how fortunate. It was a huge moment actually, but I do love how she explains it and how she talks about it, but it's about testing yourself. And shedding is a part of that. Like, if you are on a journey, or you want to get somewhere, or you believe in something, or you're really, really passionate about something, and there's an obstruction, shedding for me is aligning your behaviour and your actions with your end goal. So it is part of manifesting if you think about it. Because for me, getting rid of the things that are obstructive is allowing and creating space for things that will help you on your journey and that are more positive. So yeah, that's how I see it. And then the next part of shedding, or why shedding, is growth, right? Everyone's on this mission for growth at the minute. I also think, just by the way, it's fine if you don't want to grow. Like, it's fine if you... One thing I have learned throughout this whole process, and I'll probably do an episode on it, is like just letting go and letting things be. Boy, there's so much to be said for it. I understand that everyone's on a mission, but if you can just learn to let go. Anyway, I'm digressing, but an episode for another day. But if you are on a growth journey, or you are on a development journey, like, the whole thing is about evolving, right? So as you grow and evolve, like, things around you, relationships, your career, your friendships, your social situations, your body, your mind, like, it all evolves. And so if there are things, situations, people, objects, foods, like, it could literally be anything in your life that is subtracting from evolution, then for me it's as simple as you need to get rid of it. And for you it should be as well. Like, I definitely think there's something to be said for like obstruction. Actually, it's not about always taking away, it's about bringing things in. I said there about manifesting and taking things out to allow space for more positive, more aligning things. And evolution for me is completely that. It's the places you visit, the people you spend time with, like a broken record here, but the foods you eat, the relationships, the career, the people that you are with. Like, I cannot stress this enough. The people that you spend the most amount of time with will heavily impact your day to day, even when they're not around. So it's not even about like getting rid of everything all the time. It's about adding and supplementing things into your life that then allow you to grow and become more aligned with the person that you want to be. Remember, we're going from A to B, and it's not always as simple as that. Like, life is colourful, right? And life throws things in all the time, and some days you get up and you can't be arsed, and other days you're like, come on, I can take over the world. Like today, I actually didn't want to come to the studio. I pushed it back a week. I was feeling nervous about it. I was like, who am I? I can't do this. And actually getting here, and I even spoke to Gemma before, and I was like, I'm really not sure I can do this. And she was like, come on, get up, you can do it. Like, weekly videos, you're there. So it's having people like that in your life, and using the tools that are given to you, that encourage you. So it's about addition as well as taking away. Does that make any sense? I hope it does. I think it does. Lastly, how to shed. So I said it in the beginning, but I was savage news a few years ago. If you said something wrong, if you looked at me wrong, I once went for dinner with someone who was then a friend, and I was having this spell of not drinking. Like, if anyone has ever moved to London or relocated to London, you will know that the second you get there, it's all about, there's such a heavy drinking culture. And I know everyone's on this like non-alcoholic, like let's be sober journey at the moment, and it's trending, like, quite thankfully so. But when I moved there, what year are we in now? 6 years ago I moved there. It was horrendous. Like, there was so much peer pressure to drink and to be drunk. And I went for dinner with this girl, and I was like, oh, I don't want to drink, like, it's fine, I'm just having a few weeks out, I just want to feel good, and I want a healthy mind and a healthy body. And I went to the toilet, and she'd ordered a bottle of wine and 2 cocktails. And I tell you, I never spoke to her again. I never ever spoke to her again, because I thought, and looking back now, I should have communicated more. Like, communication is a whole part of this process, and probably something that we can talk about later, but I just thought, how on earth has this girl got my back, or how is she a good friend when I've told her that I'm doing something to benefit myself and my mindset, and I've left the room for 5 minutes, and I've come back and she's done something that's totally not aligned with who I want to be. Like, that for me is not a supportive person, and actually she's like an obstruction. So I don't want to be around people like that. And I, like, in hindsight and looking back and on reflection, I stand by my decision to shed and to let go of that particular person, but also I should have done it in a much kinder way. This is why in the beginning I was like, be kind. It's the most important thing in my life personally, is to be kind. What you give out, you receive, right? And I always want to receive kindness and love. And that was a bit airy-fairy, wasn't it? But yeah, always be kind. But I do think, like, there's a way in which to shed, and I think you get to decide who you are, who you want to be, who you surround yourself with, what you like, what you don't like, what situations you want to be in, what situations you don't want to be in, what foods you eat, how much you move, how much you practice mindset, how much you want to grow intellectually. Like, you decide who you are. Like, when you break it down, you are you, and you make the decisions for you, right? And so it's up to you it's up to you, like, everything, your surroundings, the people, the foods, everything. I'm gonna stop. I'm literally a broken record throughout this whole thing, but it's your evolution journey, and so you decide all of these things. So if something's not aligning, it's up to you to have the balls and the courage to step out of it. That doesn't mean do it like I did and cut everyone out who makes a decision based against your journey or your morals or whatever. It's slowly being like, actually, this is not for me. Like, thank you so much. Like, it's been great getting to know you, but actually I'm on a different journey right now, and if our paths cross again, like, great, and I wish you all the best, but for me, I'm just going to pull back from this. And I think sometimes it's not that deep, and sometimes you can just pull away, but I do think that you can communicate, and I think the more you communicate, the more confident you get, and the more you back yourself. And it's also about decisions and, like, mindset that you make based on yourself. If you're on a journey to be improve your health or your fitness or your routine or something, lifestyle change or your career. Like, it's up to you to make decisions, and sometimes they're hard decisions, but it's up to you to be disciplined or to make decisions that align with the outcome. And it's about patience as well. So how to shed is aligning your decisions with the end goal and the end outcome, but also not accepting anything less than what you deserve and what you're worth. So it's like, if you're in a relationship and your boyfriend's being a bit sloppy, like, have a conversation about it, and then if that behaviour continues and continues and continues, goodbye. Like, we've communicated about this. Like, you can't just be going left, right and centre, like, you piss me off, goodbye, you piss me off, goodbye, I don't like you for doing that, goodbye. You'd end up with no one. You have to be nice and kind about it. You have to be kind about it, and you have to be smart. Like, it's not about being calculated or manipulative, it's about being authentic. And if something is a repetitive behaviour, or if something honestly doesn't align with you, then you have the right to step away and pull yourself back and be like, this is not for me anymore. But do it in a way where you've given people chances and you've communicated how you feel, because I have 100% just randomly, like, gone, goodbye, this is not for me anymore, like, with a guy I'm dating or a friend or whatever, and they're like, huh? But I thought everything was going okay. And I'm like, you thought it was, but in my head, this is a shit show and a shambles, and I don't want to be a part of it anymore. But actually, I've never communicated that. I've just gone on with it because I haven't been confident enough to say it. And now I'm in a much different place. So take people on the journey with you. Don't be scared to share your feelings, share what you're thinking, and make decisions based on you and on who you are. Because I kid you not, when you start to chip away and you start to get rid of the things that are actually toxic in your life or not quite working for you, or even like snacking too much, like, it's ridiculous. Like, sometimes it's small things, but when you start to chip away and you start to shed, and actually you would then only accept people and things and feelings into your life that you feel happy and positive and comfortable with, like, the quality of your life is 10 times better. I honestly come away from my friendship groups now and I'm like, God, this is so refreshing. These people get me. And a few years ago that was never the case. So it's definitely something worth doing. So just to summarise on shedding, like, shedding for me is definitely the first step to a self-growth mindset. I'll talk later about, like, setting goals and whatever, but shedding for me is in a one-liner, like, it's aligning your behaviour with your goals, essentially manifesting. And if you do need any help with shedding, please just let me know, drop me a DM, put something in the comments. Like, I'm always here to talk. This is what this whole platform is about. Like, these videos are about you and building you up to be someone that you really love and that you're really proud of. So yeah, always comment away. And also, if there is, I will cover things like confidence and self-love and building better friendships and lifestyle stuff and mindset stuff. So if there is particular topics that you want to hear about, like, please just drop it in the comments or drop me a DM. I'm going to keep everything to my personal pages on Instagram now. I'll put the link to my Instagram in the description. So if you do want to hear about anything or you want to talk about anything, I have an open door policy. You can trust me and we can chat about it. But yeah, please like, comment and subscribe because it means the world. Sorry, I feel like I just rambled for a long time. But I like these live chats and I hope you like listening. So yeah, see you next week.